What's up? This is kind of an outskirt trail in the cemetery. It's very pretty. So you know, when I started this YouTube channel, like, I had no idea what was coming, obviously. It was kind of like the start of the death, you can say, you know? Yeah. It's actually really beautiful that it was documented. This is really the oddest thing that you could ever go through, and the mass majority of people won't understand what's going on, because your interest in all of these different things, it literally energetically, there comes a point where it's just not there. So it's really alarming for you, for others. It's actually unbelievably simple and clear. What the identity is. It's this want and need and desire for things to work out my way, you know? And your way was conditioned, usually, largely. It's what society told you you should want, or what will make you feel more valid and more loved and admired by others, more accepted, appreciated. And it's, you think that it's really innocent, you know, that it won't really do you harm by following the crowd, following the norm, doing what everyone else is doing. And I can't see anything wrong with it, because it's like there's not enough people who understand this that can support you when you're so young. Obviously, this is just like, I'm trying to be cautious with how I speak, because, but who the hell knows? This could happen when you're really young, and it could be really beautiful, you know? Tragically beautiful. I have been speaking to younger people, and I have been surprised. So yeah, the little remnant belief structures or ideas that are here, like, yeah, a lot of them just get confronted in these unexpected ways, and I see that that's just the belief. It's not really true. So then we really long for all of these things to fulfill us and make us a better person, a healthy person. And when this energetic dissolving happens, it's the complete opposite of that. It's the complete opposite of the person. So pretty much all wants and desires, goals, dreams, need, greed, like all of it goes to zero. All of it. All of it. But that is the freedom. Like, to really see that you're okay without anything. And the okayness is coming from this emptiness, this lack of solidity, because the solidity is the need or attachment or feeling safe in that thing or idea or possession of that object. So now it's really clear that the emptiness itself is absolute freedom. It's so unbelievably clear, free of any need of anything. How beautiful is that? But in the story, to get there, you know, even though this isn't going anywhere, but when there's this illusion of this energetic time that feels real, it feels like you're getting somewhere, or dissolving is actually happening, loosening is actually happening, but it's not. So take the stories lightly. What was I saying? Tell me. Oh, so to apparently get here, it takes a lot, you know? It kind of really does. I mean, you feel through the worst of the worst. You feel through things you've never felt before. The deepest fears, the deepest aloneness, the desperate need is so apparent and so clear. And you don't see it like this when, you know, you're just a person, so to speak, when you're just contracted, because the illusion is a lot stronger. You know, there's just too much constructs everywhere, and it's a lot more solid. But here it's like, it's just pure, absolute, intense need, greed, jealousy, disgust, hatred, anger, loneliness, despair. And you know, it doesn't come all at once. Like, in the end, it's fine, and your body is so capable of handling whatever. It's just when you really believe the mind for way too long about what it's freaking out about, will you feel like or appear so-called crazy, which you're not. And, you know, I always have to caution things because I don't know your medical history, or, like, I can't speak to everyone in that way. So I just have to speak generally. So use your intuition. It's not really your intuition. Intuition isn't actually a thing. It's not actually a knowable, precise thing. This is actually really beautiful. I don't know why. It just seemed really beautiful. But the mind will freak out, obviously. It doesn't want you to go here. It wants you to go be normal and go with the familiar. Do your old coping mechanisms and deal with this the way you thought you knew how, the way you thought worked for you before. And it may have appeared that it worked at that time within that construct of reality that was apparently there, but not really. But you see here that there's no out, there's no escape from what simply is. And what simply is what's been avoided your whole entire life. That despair. that fear or that longing for no tomorrow, for the disappearance of time, the disappearance of you. You are time, you are space, you don't exist. It's just an effect. Makes it feel like you're real, but it's not true. But that doesn't mean dismiss it. It actually means that separation has its ripples. It's all energetic. Energy just doesn't stop in that way. You can't will it away. That's the same energy. So then you let it be here again and again. And it's not you that lets it be here. It's just seeing that there was never something that could actually suppress that or get rid of it or make you feel better. Like momentarily it may have given you happiness or contentment to try that thing, to try that practice, to follow that teacher, to sit, to meditate intensely, to binge watch that stuff, to eat that thing. And I'm not saying there's anything really wrong with that. So sometimes you can just say, fuck it, you know, I'm done with this. I'm done. I've learned. I've seen it doesn't work. And then other times you can say, fuck, I'm gonna indulge in this and see what happens when you fully allow it to be as it is and you see the natural disgust of the body, the natural repulsion that this is too much. Stop. Please stop. It's actually really beautiful when you see that you never really had to manipulate anything in the way that you thought and the way that you really desperately tried to be a functional human, to not watch so much Netflix, to not procrastinate, to be less lazy, to blah blah blah. All of these made up concepts that make you feel like shit. You may get an understanding of yourself, but ultimately it does equal harm. It really is the lost leading the lost. People have no idea what they're saying, and they're just regurgitating what they've been told. And hey, it might be helpful for a time, so I'm not really rejecting anything. I have no problem with anything. It doesn't matter. But when you see things so clearly, like this is absolute emptiness. There is totally nothing. But this nothing is absolutely full of what you can say life. I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's just everything. It's just so unbelievably everything. And so after the body is depleted of this desperate need and want and longing and hopes and dreams, everything, grief, whatever it is, when it's emptying out more and more of all of these personal energies, that when it's coming up from the root up, it's something else, man. It is something else. Whew. And it's like the aliveness doesn't come into the body yet, so it's just bleak and empty, you know? And you don't know what's coming. And I don't know if I'm doing a disservice by telling you that that doesn't last. But the other thing is, I don't know when the aliveness will come in, because it's obvious that you've never been in control of life. You've never been able to tell life, no, now I'm going to be happy. Now I'm going to be content. I always have to feel cautious of how and what I say. But basically, I'm just talking about those who feel like they're semi-going through something like this. It's just so obvious that any thought, any feeling is not in your control. And I remember this moment where things were so bleak, and I finally just let go of the idea of happiness or contentment. And then eventually the need for it left. The fear of being in despair forever left. So then there was no idea in time of what's happening, what this means about me, because it doesn't mean anything about you. What a fucking relief. I mean, you think that this is bad, you know? Like, everyone will say, like, you need to get a new hobby, or you need to do this, like, get out of this. But if you fucking tasted the freedom, that's the way through. To see that there's absolutely no control in anything in life. What a relief. The worry and anxiety and stress disappear because you felt through that energetic separate sense that felt like it needed to worry about it or be in control of it. When that sense is gone, the mind just slowly stops manipulating, trying to manipulate everything. I say slowly because it doesn't happen all at once usually. Like, you can see that the thoughts are energetic patterns too, so it's not up to you. It's just not. Okay, so this aliveness comes back, and, you know, more and more, I'm just standing in this absolute gorgeous fullness, aliveness, vibrancy. I don't know what to call it, but everything is that. There's nothing really noticing it or relating to it or apart from it or anything like that. It's just that. And sure, there's a noticing that comes in and out, but that's not owned. That's not me. That too is inseparable. Hello. And so obviously I'm giving you this overview that really can take months or years, and I just don't know. It's gonna vary for everyone. So I'm putting this in a little bottle and making a nice little story out of it, but that's not really what happened. Like, when there was, let's say, disgust, oh, there was just disgust. I didn't fucking care when it would go, when the aliveness would come back in. Oh, there's another trail. I just didn't know. Time was not real. It was just disgust. I didn't care what was happening anymore. I didn't care about awakening. What is that? That's a concept. It's a complete mind-made idea. And this disgust was toward humanity, because you see so clearly how immensely fucked up it is, how twisted people are, how disgusting people can be. And you're allowed to feel that way, you know? You're allowed. It comes and goes, like everything. There could be especially a lot of disgust around the spiritual path if you've been on it for a long time and you believed all these concepts and ideas and you revered and had loyalty to the teacher, and it's understandable. It's very understandable. And it could be intense, man. Like when there's anger, hatred, disgust, whatever it might be, loneliness, oof, it could be all at once. You can't even label it or separate it anymore, you know? But that is the way through, you know? There's no through. There's no entrance to everything, you know? Or no exit to everything. Already simply this. Yeah. And I had to be extra kind to my body during this time, because was it something else? It is something else. And the fact that not enough people describe this shit confuses me as fuck. And I do feel lucky. I feel lucky to have this platform to share this stuff and to be willing to share this stuff and to not give a shit, really, about what other people think, because it's obvious it's just a thought. Gosh, what freedom. What beauty.